adventurous and talented this actor is. To the stage, please welcome Matt Cohen. Great co-director he is. Much noise you must make for Richard Speight Jr. Strong is the force with this one. It's creator of the Hillywood show, Hilly Hindi.
You can guys do better than that. Come on, you still have tomorrow, right? Matt and Richard, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello? I'll speak from my diaphragm.
You just broke the mic, is what you just did.
Oh, man. Everybody having a good weekend so far?
Everybody having a good weekend so far. I don't know what happened to my number 3 mic. Mike? There it is. Of course it works for him. It always works for the hot people. Once again, I want you guys to celebrate the artistic success of this young lady in this parody. An incredible achievement.
Thank you. And once again, I like you guys would give a round of applause to these fabulous people. I seriously, I could not have done this production without amazing people like them, my volunteers, my family, my friends, my patrons. Are there patrons in the audience? You can be louder. If you guys didn't know, the Hillywood show is 100% fan-funded. We don't have a big sponsor or company behind us yet, but everything you just saw was the love of people wanting to create something really cool. And thank you for your patience. I know you guys waited a decade and a half for that production. We announced it here last year at Comic-Con, so it was very surreal seeing it all come to life right now. But anyway, you guys ready to have some fun with us? We have a microphone right here in front if you guys would like to get up and make your way on over and ask us any sort of questions that you'd like about the production, about Supernatural, about all the fun things. So on your mark, get set, go.
And here we go, right now. Hey, slow down.
Yeah, slow down.
I couldn't help myself. Come on, guys.
Well, you're up, Cass.
Hello. Hi, Hilly. Rich, Matt. Good to see you guys. Love you guys. So my question is mainly for Hilly, but Rich and Matt can answer a variation of that question as well. So I know for about 20 years, the Hillywood show is mainly directed by Hannah, but for Star Wars, we have a co-director directed by Rich. So what's the biggest difference that you noticed directed by Rich versus Hannah, and like anything, good, bad, whatever, safe space?
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Be honest.
for Rich and Matt, you guys can answer like what's the biggest difference you notice filming on the Hillywood show versus any other shows that you guys worked before.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. For those of you who don't know, my sister was unable to work on this production with me. I think I told you guys last year just something personal happened in her life, and I thank you guys so much for the love and support that you've given her. I really appreciate it. So shout out to you guys. Love you guys. But that left me sitting going, who's going to direct me when I'm on camera? And who's going to like help run this ship? I was flying half a ship, and hi! I gave Rich a call and explained the situation, and I was like, hey, it's like a 8-day shoot. You're very busy. Are you available? And I think the biggest difference is me and my sister have this language between each other. We would just stand off to the side with the crew just gawking, and we'd be like, okay, so it's like, and then, yeah, okay, go. And everyone's like, oh, okay. Like, I think we got it figured out. Where with Richard, he had like my storyboards and like what we wanted it to look like, but the communication had to be much more clear than yeah. So that was the biggest difference, was just the communication. But it was great, and I loved working with Rich.
I said when we screened this at her for the crew screening, I said it was definitely like landing in a world where they have their own language. Because they do. This crew has been working together. The core parts of your crew have been working together for over a decade.
Right.
So they have a shorthand that you can't just snap into. Filmmaking is filmmaking. Telling a story is telling a story. So there's a certain language that's universal, but they have their own, and because they came up in their own universe, starting their own way, they built their own procedures, and it was really interesting to step into that and try to figure out, not necessarily the fundamental elements of it all, but also just how they approached the process was unique. It was awesome, and it's also has been successful. So I wasn't there to change that. I wasn't there to go, no, that's not how we do it. No, I was on their turf, and so I was happy to adapt to what they do. The difference between what I usually do and what we were doing here and what they have achieved is they obviously are bringing their own flavor to a lot of different genres and a musical element, which is obvious. But there's also a tremendous amount of respect to the source material, to the IP that they are parodying. So that level of detail is, a focus on a minutia that you don't necessarily have to focus on in a production where you're starting from scratch. We're not starting from scratch. We're taking somebody's original ideas and concepts, and they are very specific, Hilly and her entire team, about replicating it exactly as it's done, down to the lensing, down to the lighting, down to all of it, so that part of my job, if she's on camera, is to be sure that I'm helping her achieve and them achieve what they were already striving to achieve that somebody else achieved in 1977. You know what I mean? So we're trying to do these things while bringing a fun new energy and bringing all the, unique pizzazz that they bring to their shows. So it's a fine line between adding, being creative, being new and original, while also honoring and staying true and keeping in place all the things that drew you to the show and movie originally. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And I'm taller than Hannah. That's the other difference. I was
yes, the height is
slight
a
difference.
The precision is worth noting. Rich said they really honor the source material. I flash back to the Umbrella Academy parody, where I got to play what number?
Klaus.
What was I? Four. I was 4. I was a drug addict. I'm not supposed to remember everything from it. Anyways, I'm sitting on top of a table and I'm playing Klaus, the drug addict number 4 from Umbrella Academy. And we did this one take like 15 times and I didn't move my big toe correctly. And we kept redoing it because I couldn't get the motion of my big toe right in the scene. And I appreciate that because what you get is a polished product, like Rich says, that really truly honors the source material. And that only exists within the Hillywood world. I've seen it done nowhere else the way you do it. So.
Good Lord, I gotta bring these guys with me everywhere I go. My God, I'm gonna bring you to the meeting rooms, to the pitch rooms.
Perfect.
I just
listen.
want some credit for my right big toe because he put in some work and he hasn't been given the respect he deserves.
Great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We're only here this late on our third night because you were kind enough to ask us if we were going Hilly, so we're here. But my question is really about your process for the song, because we have the tune, we have all of that, we have the music for it. Do you go back to the source material and sort of listen? We hear a lot of the dialogue from Star Wars: A New Hope, and just like, do you really do a deep dive on the dialogue and then kind of match, Father, search out your feelings? I mean, that's a huge thing in Jedi. So, Just curious about that.
I love these questions because they're so deep, but I feel like my mind's not deep at all. It's just very wacky and crazy. And honestly, the visions come to me like while I'm just listening to a song. So I very rarely have I found myself like, okay, does this work with this? Like it doesn't really work that way. I'll just be like chilling here. I don't know, a song. I don't want to give anything away because I have many ideas, but let's just hear Don't Stop Believing. And the first vision I had with that was a random shot of Luke saying, oh, the franchise goes on and on and on and on with all the DVDs popping up. And I was like, where did that come from? So it's like I get these little visions and my brain just likes to play and I'm a little too imaginative, I guess. Thank you for that. And yeah, I wish my answer was much more artistic and deep and poetic, but really just I'm a woohoo a little. By the way, which camera guy, who's your favorite? Let's do a test here. I see how it is. Oh. If I come over here, I'm still the favorite. Okay. Wow, I look short over here. I'm gonna go back over here.
Good question. Thank you.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
Thanks for doing this. So this is the first Hillywood thing that I've seen. So it was fantastic. You have a new fan in me. What was the hardest prop that you had to replicate? Because you do such a good job, like with the detail of everything. It looks so good. So like, what was the toughest thing that you were like, God, I'm having a tough time tracking down this specific thing, or like making this look like it was in the movie?
Was there anything on the Star Wars parody? I just know Tatooine.
Well, I know Tatooine blew away a couple of times.
Yeah.
Tatooine turned out is not waterproof, we found out, or wind resistant.
It got destroyed twice.
Yeah.
Golly.
But building anything like you did all this before I showed up, so I don't really have an idea about this. Was it hard building, any of the Falcon or any of the specific, the bar, anything specifically prop-wise?
I think because this one was so custom-made, we had harder issues with like Stranger Things parody.
Right.
Like that couch. No one's just gonna build a couch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That couch came from Florida because I found it on Craigslist. And there was a fan in Florida that was like, I'll drive it down to Las Vegas, Nevada, so you could film with this exact couch. So yeah, anything dated 80s, 70s, recreating the Umbrella Academy stuff, all the stuff that cannot be custom made is a big pain in the headache, and I scour eBay, Etsy, and all the things for weeks.
You're able to find, if I'm not mistaken, like R2-D2 and your Darth Vader. These are also people who've been doing this
Yes.
on their own.
We worked with a lot of cosplayers and amazing, talented folks, and it made it go so much smoother. I did not build R2. Thank you.
You guys do amazing work.
Thank you. Hello.
Hilly, I love you, but you're going to be short anywhere. Sorry, I had to say that. You can hit
Tough crowd. Yeah.
God. Well, the short jokes work with Luke, so it kind of works this time around.
Thank you for the pass. I think my question stems from just how anticipatory I was for this parody. Not to be like, it took a long time, Hilly. Not at all.
Don't lie,
it's fine. But I would love to hear more about the storyboarding process, because all of the parodies are essentially music videos, but they are based off of already existing IP, and I'm just like, okay, how do you decide what lyric goes with what shot and what scene and all that process, all that jazz?
Well, like Richard mentioned, we have the amazing liberty to look at something that was already shot. Now, unless it's like an original scene, like all those dance numbers, that's when we can be more original, kind of come up with our own angles. And like the movie theater thing, that was all like original material and original storyboards. Sometimes I draw it out, little stick figures. And then other than that, we can use a lot of screen caps, and that was very helpful. And we use that as references. So my storyboards is usually like a bunch of screen caps. I even sent him a previs of like what we're looking at parody-wise, but it's just missing the Hillywood elements that give it a different, like we didn't see Darth Vader dancing. So yeah, it's in the sense it's a really great cheat code for the Hillywood show.
Then how do you
speeds it up.
decide, just to sort of follow up on what you're asking?
Sorry, you got to get in line.
Oh, damn. How do you decide what you're going to put in what set? Like, I know you're going to start in Tatooine, but were you following any kind of story order with the actual shots, or when they're on land speeders, are you like, this will be a funny place for this dialogue, or how did you know what part of the song was going to go with what visual image?
I think you broke her.
I truly, that's a good question from my brain, but like I don't know how to communicate that into words.
Right. Okay.
Do some of your.
No, but it's just how you feel when you're watching the movie in your head and you're putting it together. It's just what makes sense.
It just comes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I watch it as it comes. Like it just is like watching a movie. It's like a dream. When you see a dream and you don't know where it's coming from, but it's a dream, it's like a dream.
There you go.
Okay. All right. At least one person gets me.
Thank you.
No, I get it.
Okay. 2 people get me. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Guys, I didn't know anticipatory was a real word till tonight. That's the first time I've ever heard it. Hey.
Hello.
So I'm right now really into like trying to be a screenwriter in the future, and after seeing this, what are a few takeaways you guys would have for this, for people that want to become screenwriters later on?
That's a really good question for Matt. You've done some screenwriting, right?
I have not written anything worth reading, but I will tell you this. Do not write. If you want to write a story, if you got a movie in your magical little bing ding head, you bring it out and you put it on paper, and I urge you to write tonight, write tomorrow, write forever. It doesn't matter if anybody likes it. You like it, you do it. It's therapy for you. You're going to be a writer because you say you're going to be a writer. You pick up a pen or your thumbs or however you write, and you write and just continue to write. And that's just the goal of it. You don't write hoping that I'm going to be the biggest, most famous writer of all time. Write what's good to you and write it right now.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. So I'll say my girlfriend is the one who kind of like makes me watch Hillywood stuff. Not I dislike it in any way.
Makes you.
But
we love your girlfriend. Thank you, girlfriend.
No, I do love it, but I had never seen it before.
Did she give you like the Clockwork Orange treatment?
Exactly. It was like teardrops and everything. It was kind of horrific.
You're like.
But so for each one of you, as you've all been in front and behind the camera, what is your favorite film you've like worked with, or not film? Sorry, what's your favorite process you've done, and what was it and why?
Can you elaborate on process?
Like if you were like directing that scene, acting in that scene, writing for that scene, so on.
I don't have a favorite. I enjoy the process of being on set all the time. I don't have a moment that was better than a different moment because each moment is unique in its own timestamp. Whether I'm acting, whether I'm helping a friend, producing, whether I'm directing, I find the creative process that comes from collaboration immensely satisfying and challenging and frustrating while still being satisfying. So I've worked on stuff for free with my buddies when we were in our 20s. I've worked on huge budget things where I was a small drop in a massive ocean. All of them bring with them their own challenges and rewards. There isn't one I would pull out and go, that was a thing. There's too many of those. The aggregate is just a remarkable experience, and I enjoy gathering those on this journey that I'm currently on.
Well, now I don't want to answer that.
He's like the shaman of directing the way he talks about it.
Matt, you
I
want to
mean,
go?
stop saying my name, Hilly. I think many thoughts about things. I'm a director because I saw Rich direct and I was completely inspired to chase something down that was unattainable to a guy like me. He made it attainable by explaining it and training my ass like a boot camp sergeant through the process. And I am the same way. Everything, currently, my favorite thing I've acted in is the Hillywood Star Wars parody. Before that, it was the Hillywood Umbrella Academy. And before that, it was probably Supernatural because that was such a beautiful place to just have a guest starring experience that grew into a different, playing another character and then becoming a director on that show. It is extremely challenging to do all of it. Directing is incredibly hard. Putting together something like these Hillywood parodies, doing something like Supernatural, trying to just do it at all is such a challenge. But the fulfillment of creating something that just lives in here and then everybody else gets to see it and you get to watch it up on this screen, it's incredible. It's just a great feeling. I compare it to, I have an 11-year-old son. By the way, he cameoed. He was the guy with the mask in the line. I almost forgot, and now I forgot what I was going to say afterwards because it makes me so proud. Damn it, I get so emotional seeing my kid in this thing. It's wild. I don't know what I need to say next to finish this tangent because I'm overwhelmed with emotion right now. I do think the challenge in directing is the whole thing of it. It's the challenge of trying to make something impossible happen and you have a short time to do it, and if you fail, boy oh boy, it hurts your feelings in a big way. So you got to do it. Hilly, please save me from my own speech.
Well, I love everything, like ditto, but I have highlights. Are highlights allowed?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I got highlights. Okay, I loved filming in London for the Sherlock parody. That was incredible. I absolutely loved driving the Impala for the first time. I mean, that was really cool. And then, of course, filming with J2 it felt like a fever dream. Suddenly, they're just there dressed as Ghostbusters, and I'm like, what is happening? Why Hillywood? This is, okay, let's do this. And then, it's just progressed, especially with this one. This one was more of an emotional journey for me because it was my first project without my sister. And I came, and this is between us and the whole world, but I came very close to possibly giving up on the project because I felt very lost because she was my sister. You guys know, it's like we do everything together. So it was like, I don't want to disappoint the fans. Is this gonna fail? What's gonna happen? So this one, there was something so special and miraculous, and all kudos again to the people who came to help make it happen, and to the fans who just sent me a kind DM, and just to God for listening to my prayers, because that's what it was. It was just, I'm gonna walk off the cliff, and hopefully there's a bottom, and I floated all the way down, and landed safely, and we have a parody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, what was the most exciting part of this process for each of you with making this particular video?
What was the most exciting part for you?
Most exciting thing.
You can't ask it like that. You got to go what was the most exciting part for you?
She already did that.
I know, but then you said it's what's the most exciting
I was lobbing
part
it to Hilly.
The most exciting part to me. I love acting. I love being on camera. And that's where I feel most at home. That's where I feel alive. That's what I feel like I'm meant to do. So anytime I could just say, Rich,
Yeah.
am I on my mark? That was the best for me. I just love just doing what I do. The directing's awesome. Don't get me wrong. If I had to pursue that as well, that's awesome, that's fun. But my little heart flutters every time I get to be a character and be on camera, and yeah.
I think specifically in this one, there are a lot of moments that are really fun because it takes a village kind of crew where everybody knows each other and are buddies and are working hard to solve problems. Believe it or not, getting the lightsaber out of the snowbank in Hoth was a giant pain in the butt. And we had to do it twice. And so the second time we did it, I pulled a couple of the dudes together. I'm like, all right, here's how we're going to do this bleepity bleep. I'm keeping it clean because your mom's here, but I cursed on the day. And I'm like, we're going to do this and that and the other thing. And then we got the shot. And I'm like, all right, take that, Snowbank.
And Rich, actually, that whole shot is completely without me because I was off changing makeup and costume.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you mind if I'm tasked to that? And I was like, go for it. I don't want to worry about how to get it out. I think we talked about maybe the logistics of it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's
then,
just one of those things.
So that's,
yeah.
everyone applaud for that.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I mean, everything was fun and awesome, but that because it was such a problem that when you get to the end of that and you're like, aha, there's this kind of a small
Matt's
victories.
favorite was dancing.
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong too. My favorite part of that entire Hillywood parody, which is the most humiliating moment ever, you know what I'm gonna say, is when I'm out there and I'm like, I'm doing it, I'm crushing this dance, and one of the little Ewoks pulls up her mask and turns around to me, and she's like, "You got no riz, Matt." And I stood there and I wanted to get real mad at this little Ewok. I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't know if it was a compliment or a cut down. I just couldn't tell. She was like, "You got no riz, Matt." She put it on. She was like, "So pa, 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 zoo." And she started talking in Hillywood language. And she showed me exactly what riz was. And I still haven't found it. I'm looking for it. That was the highlight of that thing for me, because I was like, man, look at me, Han Solo. And I was like, shrinking down right now. Crushed my spirit.
You did amazing.
Thank you. You have to say that now. There's an audience.
No, I edited it, and I could tell who was messing up, and not you.
You hear that, Rich?
I do.
Matt. We had like
I never
two
said you
takes.
didn't have riz.
No, you
I said you were a bad dancer.
That's what you said.
Has nothing to do with your riz.
There was a lot of, great job, everybody, really good. Matt, tighten it up. We're going again.
Listen, there's 2.5 hours of behind-the-scenes footage that they have on your site.
On the YouTubes.
About 2 hours and 15 minutes of it are us trying to get Matt to do the dance right. So the proof's right there on the website.
Thank you.
I'm kidding. Matt did a great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad this audience is here to nurture my spirit.
Hi, I'm a new fan too.
Hello, new fan.
First off, what was your inspiration? And second, what is the Hillywood language?
Ooh, I'm dying to hear the answer to number 2.
What was the first question?
Your inspiration.
Your inspiration.
Like
Movies, music, all the things. Any type of show I dig. Directors, cinematographers, stage, all that stuff. It does something to my brain. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be a part of that. And I've been like that since I was a kid. Sorry, Mom. But the Hillywood language, it's woo. And then we go, got it. And we move on.
Okay.
I know. Dude, that's exactly how I sounded on set. Very lost. But that's their language. They have a very interesting, it's like dolphin. It's like watching a pod of dolphins navigate the waters. But they stay in sync and they get where they're going.
I'll teach it to them someday. They'll catch on eventually.
Did you enjoy this being your first experience? Did you enjoy what you got to see?
Yeah, I did.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey,
So this is my first time here seeing one of these, and I just want to say I'm an intellectual property law professor at the University of San Diego School of Law, and I want to be. I also write about free speech in the trademark and copyright areas, and I just want to say I came here as a Star Wars fan, and now I'm a Hillywood fan. I loved all of those parodies. I'm going to go back and see your back catalog. I want to contribute to your Patreon. I'm going to tell my students about you.
Yeah!
But I'm just curious, has anyone ever complained, any IP owner ever complained?
Well,
I hope not.
No, honestly, I'm small fry. I'm just on YouTube. If it ever crossed the border of like, hey, which I really, if there's a scout out here, do scouts even exist anymore? I would love if it became like on Netflix or Amazon or HBO. Like, I would love it to be a new generation for younger people that, you know, maybe want to see a new gen of like SNL, Weird Al, like all this new stuff. So that, I think, is where there might be like more permissions and all the things, I don't know. Well, I'm just on YouTube. I'm small fry, fair use, I have fun. And honestly, I've heard from a lot of the people, like Lady Gaga, she wanted to meet me. I met a lot of other people. The Supernatural, CW saw it. They loved it. They promoted it. They pushed it. It was on their Facebook. And so it's been a blessing because it's a love letter, but with a tongue-in-cheek Hillywood style. And I only hope to promote the shows by doing what I love and making it fun and enjoyable and something binge-worthy, so where they go and watch the shows.
Yeah, I have no idea what people would think. Like I know there's legal teams and blah blah blah.
Right.
But given the nature of the internet and how how that has progressed or digressed, depending on how you want to phrase it, there's so much stuff out there that's so detrimental to what it's representing. I can't imagine a world where some producer, writer, director, or musician will watch this and go, "How dare they make my stuff look cool?" Like or people have fun with it. It's you said love letter. It's such a love letter to every project they work on that I just would have a hard time imagining that anybody would be anything other than grateful for the free press. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and often you see backlash, right, on social media if copyright or trademark owners enforce their rights against works like this. You've probably heard of the Organization for Transformative Works. I have a number of friends that work in that field. If you don't already know about them, they're amazing. Contact, Heidi Tandy, Betsy Rosenblatt, Rekha Tushnet. This is right up your alley, the fan fiction type stuff. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
First, want to say, longtime Hilly fan. Mostly thanks to my friend Leah. Also, thank you both for being so cool to somebody so nerdy on the sales floor earlier. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Now, I don't want to ask what your favorite production was, because that's like choosing a child. But which one was the most difficult production in your estimate?
This one. Yeah, this one, because I had to do pre-production all alone, and that was scary. But then set was great. We had a couple challenges, but it ran so freaking smooth. I was so impressed with just my team, and by team I mean friends that I've known for like 10 years that have just become a part of the Hillywood team. We have some newbies, like fans that volunteered, and suddenly you're in the loop. So that went smooth. Post-production was a lot. It was me learning to work alone, and it was just a lot. Like, all right, how does that look? The team, I guess, approves. Okay, moving on. So I'm just so used to immediate feedback, and so it's like you turn around and you're like, it's up to me. Let's watch it 20 more times. Is it this edit or that edit? I mean, thank God you're not my neighbor. Thank God. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't believe it. Stop, believe, stop, believe it. Thank God. Thank God.
And sir, just real quick also, my cousin says hi, she loves you.
Tell her we say hi back.
Deal.
Thank you.
Could you talk about the instrumentation and musical arrangement? Do you stick strictly with the original music, or do you work at all on the arrangements?
I think way back in Hillywood, we didn't worry about so much of the arrangement. But as we've moved along, I think the arrangement is the heart of the parody, to be honest. Like what you guys just saw, it sounds like you're in that universe. And I think we introduced that first with a little bit of Supernatural parody. We made it more kind of rocky versus poppy, and from there it just progressed into Sherlock parody, bringing in the violins to thrift shop. That was interesting. But I think that's what sets the mood.
So do you do the orchestrations?
No. A lot of it was John Hoagie, and I just worked with Mattia Chiappa, and he's from the UK, and he made it from the ground up, did his thing. We collaborated, of course. I told him what we would like, what's being seen during this scene, and that was hard for him because we don't have the footage yet. So it's literally just me like,
Which works even better
Which
when you
works
only
even
have
better.
audio.
Yes. So thank you. Big shout out to those guys.
Sure, they do a great job.
Hi. The lightsaber out of the snow scene, I was looking at it, I was like, how did they do that? So I just wanted to let you know that your efforts did not go unnoticed.
I appreciate that very much.
I'm hoping that there's some about the how you did that in the behind the scenes.
I can't remember. There might be. I don't know. No. There you go.
Because there was like 7 hours of footage, and I had to get it down to 2.5, and even that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Well, tell the people how you did it, Rich.
But maybe I'll still do a bonus video. If I find the footage,
There we
I'll
go.
be sure to
But-
show it.
Well, I'll save it for the bonus footage. I'll give you something to watch.
All right.
But I appreciate that.
I had a question for you as well. Based on what you said in this panel and in previous years, your creative process with putting together the media and the song is pretty like fast and loose. So how do you keep your ideas organized before they're done cooking?
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes,
I'll pretend
sure.
I'm in line. Are you guys organized? Like, are creatives not organized?
That's a tough question. If you're talking about specifically in a production
No,
standpoint,
in general.
Yeah, I'm organized.
Wow.
I'm hyper organized.
Wow. Tell that to my laundry mountain. Yeah, no, like I'm organized with regards to like Hillywood stuff, but then it gets like, oh, like who cares if that paper's over there? I'll
But
know where
that's
to
still
find
organized.
it.
You're focused on what you're organized on what you're focused on. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And then everything else kind of goes the way
Yeah.
of the dodo.
Real bad.
But then if you're coming up with something and you're like, all right, so I have Don't Stop Believing with Luke saying it goes on and on and on. Do you just like put that in a note so you don't forget it, or?
No, I have a couple of terabytes of storage up in here. I'm slowly running out.
Explains it.
But yeah, it's just stores. I don't, unless it's like a line or a lyric, I'll write that down. But beyond that, the visuals thankfully stay.
I'd like to offer a metaphor.
Uh-oh.
Does anybody know the Jay-Z, the hip-hop artist? Do we know who that is? Jay-Z's never written down a rap in his whole life, but he put him in front of a microphone and it just flows out. This is basically Jay-Z right here. This is Jay-Z of the directing world.
Thank you. And I hope that both you and your sister are doing well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Hello.
Hello. I was just wondering why you kind of always do like shows that are more centered for like teens and adults. You should do like shows for littler kids.
Oh.
You would get more viewers.
Like what show are you thinking of?
Like Bluey or stuff.
I'm the dad. I'm the dad. I'm gonna be the dad. A what? A what?
Bluey. Bluey.
I don't know what that is.
Listen, I got you. Gotcha. How old are you?
10.
Yes, my son's 11. I know about Bluey.
What is Bluey, for those of us who don't know? Is it
like
animated?
It's animated. It's like a family show. It's got great lessons, got great messages. Dog's Australian. It's a great thing. It's Hillywood's next big thing. The Bluey parody.
Here we go.
right?
Excited. Is this an announcement? Oh my God.
Exclusive SDCC.
It's going to be feature film length. How about that?
Well, the thing is, I've never done like animated or cartoon. So maybe like K-pop Demon Hunters would be easier because it's like, okay, maybe that can be adapted, but it's, I don't know. Maybe
You can work toward.
we can work towards it. Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
A live action Bluey parody is what we're doing.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. So you traveled for going to London and stuff like that. So for Tatooine or for the Star Wars one, did you travel by any chance for that one?
We shot on Tatooine.
In Yuma? Like right outside of
We
Yuma?
felt
or-
like it's not the kind of thing you want to fake. The interesting thing about this setup was they used what's called a volume stage. So no, you shot the desert in the desert. But everything else was shot in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, okay.
And in a soundstage that had a volume stage, which is fairly new technology. Certainly new for me. I'd never been on a soundstage that had this technology, but it enables you to create the universe in cinematic style. Like you're not adding it later. It's happening right in front of you, and your camera can pick up everything, and you can go back and tweak it later, but you're seeing exactly what you're trying to get right then in front of you in the world with the suns and everything else. So for all of the universes, that was what we used and what she designed and worked with her team in pre-production to create all these plates. And
You loved the baking time.
turns out there's a little bit of a rendering that has to happen. And that's the beauty of those elements and that technology is we didn't have to go on location all over, because when these things were originally made, that's what they were doing, is finding real places to shoot. And we did not have to do that because we could replicate them in the newest way possible. So it was really cool.
Very cool.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Hello.
Hey.
I am a first-time Hilly watcher. This was very entertaining.
Who else is new here? Is anyone else new here?
Any new? Wow. Welcome, new folks.
I'm Hilly. That's Rich. That's Matt.
Yeah, hi.
I love Star Wars, and I also have a little bit of history as I went to a performing arts school. So I'm kind of wondering a little bit about the process in terms of how did you balance making it dance, but still making it kind of look like you're swinging a lightsaber, like
just the combination of both elements.
Making it balanced, so it's still fun. It's still a fun dance, but it still kind of looks like you're a Jedi swinging a lightsaber.
Right. Yeah. So I collaborated with my good friend Kane Keenan. He plays Voldemort in some of our Harry Potter parodies. If you go back, he's a choreographer. He worked at Cirque du Soleil. He is absolutely amazing, and I needed help doing this one. And I told him things like, I want it to feel Jedi. When we say the Force, we want to be able to do the things and make sure people who aren't dancers can no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. There was 3PO wasn't a dancer, Chewbacca wasn't a dancer. There was a lot of people that weren't dancers. Phil wasn't, and Phil did it as well. We wanted it easy enough to be able to do it with the cast and crew. So we did it, and it looks great, and I'm happy that you complimented on the Jedi kind of esque-ness of the choreography.
It worked well together.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And if anybody wants to make short jokes, just come stand next to me. I'm only 5 feet tall. You'll feel tall next to me.
Perfect. I got a couple inches on you already. Is this the last question?
All right,
is it the last question?
Last question, really? Oh.
No pressure. It better be monumental, astronomical.
So I was here at last year's Comic-Con with C-3PO and R2-D2.
Nice.
So the amount of proud that I am of you for taking that journey, because what you gave us just completely blew my mind to the point where halfway through I started crying and had to pause because I couldn't get through it without absorbing it fully. So I just want to say thank you so much for putting the time and energy into it. And my question is, so given every set design was absolutely incredible, crew, wherever you are, thank you, but I could not even pick, thank you. I couldn't really, honestly, even for myself, pick one, but did you have one that was like your favorite to work within?
A favorite what?
A favorite
Set.
background, and yeah.
What'd you call it, Rich?
My
The plate
favorite?
or-
The volume, the sort of the look of the whole thing.
I love walking in the volume stage is mesmerizing, right? Picture every wall, like this wall, and that wall is the most high definition screen you've ever seen. You could create any environment. So walking into them all was great. But when I got to like fly the ships and see you guys on the motorcycle, like all those parts, I was blown away at what happened. I wanted to be every character in every scene.
Matt didn't want to leave the Falcon.
No, I wanted to just be in it, flying, telling people not to touch the throttle. That's mine. Like, it puts you right into a childlike play space, and then you just try to reel it in under the direction of these two, and it's a great time. Every scene in a Hillywood parody is your favorite thing to be a part of. Every single scene.
I think for me, two things specifically. Tatooine, because it's the first thing you see, right? You're watching the video, so as soon as it comes on, it tells the viewer immediately this is a different thing. Like, this is a spot-on replication of the world. It sucks you right into the Star Wars universe. It's such an iconic image, and your whole team did a perfect job of putting it together. So it's aside from the fact that I think the set itself really had a death wish and wanted to fall apart, but it stayed together long enough for us to do it. And it wasn't early in the shoot. It was later in the shoot that we did that. But once you frame that up and you're looking at it, it was pretty, inspiring. Kind of gave you the chills. And if you were me and you saw this movie in the theater in 1977, it's pretty badass to be sitting there looking at a monitor going like, holy smokes. This
My
is
mom
like,
said that.
yeah, it was really, really, really cool. Like the sense memory exercise that it brought about for me was pretty tremendous. The second one that I thought was really impressive that you guys created, and I don't know the name of this set, but it's where you guys did the guitar battle, the chamber. The perspective built on that. Again, we are working with limited space. We have a soundstage, but we still have limited space and limited time and energy to put it all together. And the pre-gaming that they did to create something that looked enormous and was done with the creative technology of the human hand and the human eye to make it, give it the perspective it needed.
Practical effects.
Yeah, practical effects. So like, that's not the volume. That's not the computer doing it. That's the team. And the smoke effects and all the things. And so the two things that I thought were super inspiring, one is largely computer. One is completely old school, hammer and nail. And they both were equally impactful as a person on set.
This is so fun because we haven't really been able to talk.
never
about
had these
No,
conversations.
this is fun. Tatooine, yes, and then Dagobah, because I didn't think it was going to look the way it did because I was very nervous. There was like 2 trees and we had to rely completely on the background. Dagobah. And then I also got to do a handstand, and that was really cool. I have many other favorites, but I think our time is sadly very, very short. Please wrap up. Before we wrap up, are we allowed to do a selfie with the crowd, with you guys?
All right.
Escape, wide angle, close
Yeah.
angle. Let's do it like
All right.
go back. Ready? Like we'll go like this, and we'll go, yeah.
Well done.
Thank you guys so much. Can we hear it for Richard Speight Jr.? Can we hear it for Matt Cohen?
And hey, none of us, not you, not us, would be here without Hilly Hindi, everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you, Comic-Con. We love you. Thank you so much.
A massive thank you to our friends at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
We love you and appreciate you. Thank you, fans. We love you guys.